to the third International Conference and Exhibition.
I stand before you today a strong believer in the immense potential for collaboration between Kogi State, Nigeria and Canada's provinces.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command.
Car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits.
God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you. You can please be seated. We're going to welcome up President of the Canadian Centre for Raw Materials Display, Leo Akagweri.
Cherished guests, distinguished leaders, and esteemed participants. Good morning and welcome to the third International Conference and Exhibition for Raw Materials, proudly hosted by the Canadian Centre for Raw Materials Display Incorporated in Sound. It is a pleasure and honor to stand before you today as we open this edition of Icerms under the theme Discovering the Economic Viability of Manitoba Raw Materials. I would first like to extend my deepest gratitude to all who have joined us here today, from government leaders and industry pioneers to researchers and community advocates from within Canada, from around the world. I would especially like to acknowledge the support of the Right Honourable Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the Honourable Guab Kinnew, the Premier of Manitoba, His Worship Greg Dion, the Mayor of our own city of Prince Albert, and the head of our municipal government, and His Excellency the Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo of Kogi State, Nigeria. I wish up an insightful and inspiring conference. Thank you so very much for your rapt attention.
Without protocol, respectfully and duly observed. I am the Dr. Bashir, Honorable Commissioner, Solid Mineral Natural Resources, Kogi State. I am here to showcase solid mineral prospectus of our great state, a confluence state, that is confluence of opportunity. The state will boasted about 47 solid mineral type in abundance and in commercial quantity. We talk about the industrial minerals and other minerals type. Listing from the industrial minerals, we have limestone, high concentrated quality in different parts of the state. We have 21 local governments. The limestone is domiciled in about 9 to 10 local governments, from Yaba West to Yaba East local government, Babuni local government, Ijumu local government, Wakamo local government, Lokoja local government, Kogi local government, vast local government and in creating local government.
Cherished guests, distinguished leaders, and friends, it is my great pleasure to welcome you back to the second day of the third International Conference on Exhibition for Raw Materials. I hope you all had a restful evening and we are ready for another day filled with engaging discussions, insightful presentations, and valuable opportunities to connect and collaborate. As we continue our exploration on the theme, discovering the economic viability of Manitoba raw materials, let us reflect on the wealth of knowledge shared yesterday by George Ligo regarding nutrients as the foundational raw materials of agriculture. Today, we will begin with Dr. Paul's presentation and then move on to presentation that highlights the rich resources of Kogi State, while on Manitoba raw material.
International Conference on Raw Materials by His Excellency Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo of Kogi State, Nigeria, being represented by my humble self, Mrs. Folashade Arike Ajuade. Partnership between Kogi and Canadian companies in joint mining ventures holds significant promise by pooling resources, expertise, and market access. These collaborations can generate profits while contributing to global supply chains across industries like construction, manufacturing, and energy. Number 4, sustainability and best practices. Both regions have an opportunity to share best practices for sustainable development. Canada's expertise in balancing mining activities with environmental stewardship can help Kogi minimize ecological impacts, preserving a diverse and fragile ecosystem. For Kogi State, partnering with Canadian entities promises a host of economic and social benefits. These partnerships will open doors to new markets, expand employment opportunities, and increase revenue through enhanced mineral production. Conversely, Canadian businesses will gain direct access to Kogi's valuable raw materials, vital to industries worldwide. Together, we can leverage this wealth to ensure sustainable development that benefits both regions. In conclusion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the partnership we seek between Kogi State and Canadian is a powerful opportunity to create wealth from our natural resources, improve lives, and protect the environment. The discussions we have had since our arrival and the business relationship we look forward to establishing here and subsequently should serve as models for international cooperation that prioritize economic gains and sustainability. By combining our strengths and sharing best practices, we can unlock the full potential of our solid minerals for the benefit of both regions and future generations. I'd like to commend Mr. Osage Leo Ayo, President of the Canadian Center for Raw Materials Display, who is our own son from Nigeria. He's making us proud in Canada, who is today a proud Canadian, and his incredible team for their vision in organizing this event. We express gratitude to the mayor of the city of Prince Albert and the province of Saskatchewan, pardon me, for hosting the third International Conference on Raw Materials 2014.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Six, how do cultural festivals in Manitoba celebrate local agricultural products?
I understood from my research that Manitoba has a lot of cultural festivals that celebrate food and drinks, such as the Winnipeg Wine Festival, the Manifest Festival, and all that. We have a whole lot of them, but they actually do this to bring the local and the tourists together by showcasing their local products, agricultural products, and this actually brings both the locals and the tourists together. Thank you so much, sir.
That sounds like the answer. Please take us to the next photograph. She's got $100 right now. We'll take one more. One guy, we'll take a lady. 461. Okay, let's take 461.
Question 461 says, how do trade agreements affect Manitoba's raw material sectors?
Generally, trade agreements, according to WTO, World Trade Organization, helps every economy around the world. So if I'm to bring it down to Manitoba's raw material industry, there are many gains, many advantages that come from trade agreements. One is from the perspective of economic growth of the region or the Saskatchewan area. Once there is trade agreements, it helps the local economy and by extension the national economy. It will help the Manitoba area to create jobs.
It is my great pleasure to welcome you back to the second day of the third International Conference on Exhibition for Raw Materials. I hope you all had a restful evening and we are ready for another day filled with engaging discussions, insightful presentations, and valuable opportunities to connect and collaborate. As we continue our exploration on the theme, discovering the economic viability of Manitoba raw materials, let us reflect on the wealth of knowledge shared yesterday by George Lico regarding nutrients as the foundational raw materials of agriculture. Today, we will begin with Dr. Paul's presentation and then move on to presentation that highlights the rich resources of Kogi State.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be here with you remotely today. Leo's asked me to participate in this event in Prince Albert. Unfortunately, I was previously committed into Toronto. So I'm here today as a senior faculty person and the MICA program lead for Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and the Northwest Territories to share a little bit about the raw materials. I'm an old fella that spent 45 years in industry, working in mines, building mines, designing mines, and mineral processing processes around the world. And I've only spent the last 6 years here in academia and research. So I spent a couple of years as faculty in mechanical engineering, and I am now leading innovation and commercialization in mining. So as a fellow that's involved in Manitoba, I just wanted to share around the raw materials, especially focused on the mining. We know Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta to be prairie communities because we live here and that's what we've stressed all our life. But you know, a lesser known part of our world is how big mining is in our communities. In Saskatchewan, mining makes up about between 18 and 20% of the value of our GDP any given year, which is very similar sometimes slightly larger than agriculture. So it is significant. In Manitoba, they have a similarly significant mining industry. However, it's not quite as big percentage-wise. So Saskatchewan, we currently have 25 operating mines. Manitoba has, at this point, 8 designated mines, but we know that 3 of them at least are in care and attention, which means they aren't operating day to day, and someone's looking after them to make sure they don't flood or don't fall apart. So we'll focus mostly on the mines that are running because that's the important piece.
Talk about raw materials of agriculture in Western Canada, in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. We have this thing called Liebherg's Law of the Minimum, and I use this a lot in what I do. As a forensic hydrologist, I go look at crop damage. So try to determine what your yield is. And Liebherg's Law of the Minimum is when there's several factors at play, like different fertilizers, whatever is the limiting thing is going to limit that. So if you got lots of nitrogen, but you have no phosphate, this one here, no potassium, the highest yield you're going to get is what potassium is going to allow you to get to. Right? So that's Liebherg's Law of the Minimum. And I use that over and over and over again. And I'll give you an example. They had a dispute with their herbicide company causing damage in their field. There was some peas